Very much. I'd just like to add my voice to Deputy Smith's and welcoming you all here today, and thank you so much for coming in and sharing and further divulging the excellent work that is done right across the island. I think this is a great example when we have representatives from Ulster and here, and even following the previous debate, I think it's brilliant to see where we do have a central common good coming between both organisations working. I suppose the reason why we're here today is to kind of see how we can develop that further and how you feel that we can be of benefit in proceeding this and along. I just note the difference, and I think it's very, very important that we do look at the difference in the ways that it's funded both north and south, and the much higher percentage of the funding that's covered by the north, as you've explained, John, in comparison to the south. Last year I proposed a motion in the Seanad on the 10th anniversary of the Special Olympics, where, as Deputy Smith said, I mean, that was, I think a landmark and something that everybody in the country will always remember. But that's 10 years ago, and I think we need to look forward now. We need to look beyond that. And I know one of the things that, on initial discussions with you, I suppose 2 years ago, was where the funding in the south comes from, and the fact that it's directed just through the Department of Sport, of Tourism and Transport through the sport, and your funding comes from the Sports Council. I see a huge need there for cross-departmental funding. I think it's not just up to one department to fund, and I know that was one thing when it came for the debate that I had, that it was well, that will be taken by the Department of Sport or Health or Education or Disability. Which one is it? And everybody kind of debated the issue, whereas I would see this as being a responsibility of every department. And I think that's an area, Chair, that I would like to kind of, evolve and bring this further if we can. But also in terms of what we're looking at today and the North-South cooperation and where we can go. Do you see, when you look at the departments, I think, that are involved in the North, I mean, it involves both the Office of the First and Deputy First Minister, the Department of Education, Health, Social Services and Public Safety, Department of Social Development, Department of Culture, Arts and Leisure. It's coordinated by Sport Northern Ireland, and so on. And there's there's so many more departments involved in it. It's a much wider process, and I think that's something that we need to look at, that model, and introduce that here. Try and bring that here, that we can have this similar funding, because it's obviously a similar model down here, because it's obviously so successful in the north. I'm just looking at the. Matt, if I could just even ask you about this, have you had ongoing discussions with the Department of Transport, to widen it out, to bring it into the Department of Health? Have initiatives been made? I know I've made representations on that, but has it gone anywhere, or what kind of a reaction have you got, or response have you got from there? Also, as I said, bringing it to the North-South, the Ministerial Council. I know I've kind of spoken with it to the Taoiseach, who has voiced his complete support for this. And if you have ideas on how would you suggest that we progress this further? Finally, I could go on all day, but I suppose I've a vested interest in that. I've been involved with the Special Olympics long before I came into the Seanad, and can personally vouch for the excellent work that goes on day by day and week by week. I wish you every success with the Games, the forthcoming National Games in Limerick, and indeed the World Games next year. I would love to see more coverage of games for Special Olympics. I know the team last year for the Winter Olympics did exceptional work, but I think a lot of it was hidden because we didn't have the media coverage that perhaps the Olympics get there. But finally, I would just also like to say, when you mention the one thing that's more common between North and South are the volunteers, and I think there's the same amount of effort and dedication North and South of the border, which shows that we are a country united in helping people with a disability. So thank you.